Hey there, this is Anonymous T. Welcome to my backup channel, Anonymous T Podcast, where we can get to some things that I can't get to on my main channel. And also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to both platforms, you guys. So in this video, we're talking Love Island UK, you guys. And I'm talking specifically about the sort of love triangle, but not really, between Ayo, Mimii, and Uma. And I need to give a little thing to Black Twitter right now. You guys are doing the most. You guys are doing the most. You guys can never handle when there is more than one black woman in the villa, you guys. For some reason, you have to pin one against the other. And here's the thing. There's no reason to this season. There is zero reason to this season. Here's the thing. Ayo has not been putting in the proper effort to Mimii, you guys, before, during, and after Uma's arrival, you guys. And even though they tried to hype up this Omar thing, because he's allegedly friends with Stormzy, Maya's dude, and all of the things, his chat really wasn't all that. And it seems as though even he told Uma that he might have talked to her if he saw her at the club. Which tells me he has a preference for snow buddies, which is his type, right? Which is fine. But he's going to play it safe and probably choose between Uma and Mimii when the opportunity presents itself, right? But here's the thing. You guys are missing the biggest ops in this whole situation, you guys. And that is the girls in the villa who do not seem to like each other. And also Ayo, you guys. Because Ayo, to Mimi's face, is making it seem like, oh, if I had the option, I would have picked you. Well, we technically never would have known Ayo. But for all intents and purposes, the past couple of days, you were all about Uma, so 9 times out of 10, you would have chose her. Because you already told Mimii that was your type, right? But you're just trying to save face now because there's competition. There's another dude in the villa. Well, at least Mimi's supposed to let you know that there's another dude in the villa. She seems to still beg for your attention for whatever reason, right? But nonetheless, you are so into Uma that you cannot see that Uma is not into you. That Uma does not want to be with you, that Uma still has a preference for Malibu's Most Wanted, aka Joey, right? Uma even admitted right after the recoupling that the reason that she chose Ayo was because, not just because he was the only one putting in the most effort, but she did not want to step on, quote unquote, the other girl's toes, but had no problem stepping on Mimi's toes, you guys. Now, from a bombshell perspective, as a bombshell, Uma did what she was supposed to do, right? She came in, she sought out whoever she had the best connection with, and whoever gave her the most attention and chose that person. She did not pull a Danica in which she was just going to go for her preference regardless, even if they told her to her face that it was a no. She was not going to embarrass herself and play herself like that, right? So she went with the safe option with somebody that she knew was into her way more than she was into him. She didn't pull a Zara and go all in on Tom, and then Tom started acting funny after they got coupled up, you guys. So she's playing this right? Except for, like I said, Ayo just does not seem to get it. He's begging for kisses, begging for cuddles, and Uma's talking about this is a slow burn, but really it's not a slow burn. She's just like slowly, trying to get away from you, and is not interested in you. Immediately already has the ick because of all of your love bombing and things. But nonetheless, you are so far up in the clouds that you cannot even see it, right? So nonetheless, we have a challenge that also took place, and in the challenge, was, everybody had to dress up in red. It was the challenge where everybody has to, like, pop the balloons based off of different sex positions, and then they have a dare, right? So Ayo's dare, of course, was kiss the islander you have the most, or that's most likely your type, right? So of course he's going to kiss the person he's coupled up with, which is Uma. Now, what has people in arms is the aftermath, the after part of that, and that was this shot of Ayo, Omar, and I believe Ronnie just completely cracking up, and it makes it look like they're laughing at Mimii. I'm hoping that this is spliced together from another moment during those challenges. challenges. Otherwise, it's extremely embarrassing. And since when do you guys completely edit out the new bombshell during challenges, you guys? Why didn't we see who Omar got to kiss in any of these challenges? Why did we edit out anything that, Mimii potentially did in these challenges? Like, or if anybody chose Mimii, like, it's just so weird, right? But the bigger issue that was prevalent in tonight's episode were two scenes in particular where the girls clearly were instigating and trying to create drama against Mimii and Uma that you guys are not talking about, right? The first was they lied flat out to Uma's face and told her that she had a stronger connection with Ayo and that there was zero connection between Ayo and Mimii, except for this was the same group of women who were pissed that they couldn't have any one-on-one time with Ayo, and basically said that him and Mimii were attached to the hip, basically. Like, you had to try to separate them. They were so inseparable, and they were giving kisses like a married couple in these challenges and outside of challenges, that it was so sensual and intimate. Does that sound like somebody who's not into somebody? Does that sound like somebody who has no connection? Does that sound like somebody who isn't seeing it for them? Now, perhaps Ayo is just a love bomber altogether, or he's not used to this much attention from women, or it's been some time, so therefore he's just trying to just lay it all out there. But my issue is, Mimii, you do not need to graft. Mimii, you should not be the one pulling Ayo for the chat. You were the one that was at risk for being dumped from the villa the previous night. So therefore, if Ayo really is practicing what he's preaching, in that he really is into you and still wants to pursue things with you, he needs to be pulling you for chats. But thank goodness for the challenge in which he kissed Uma right then and there, so you could see for yourself that you need to focus on Omar for now. Right? Now, ideally, I would have wanted Mimii to stay with Moonveer until Casa Amor, because I feel like that would have been the best option, because honestly, I don't think Ayo or Omar are the right men for her, and I think she would be better off with a Casa guy. But nonetheless, we're here, and Moonveer seems to have his ego bruised a little bit, that he's not the it guy there, so therefore he's just being a jerk to everyone. And I was really ticked off when Mimii gave him a compliment that he had looked nice after the recoupling, and he just walks by as if he didn't hear what she said. And I believe in my heart of hearts that he actually heard what she said and was being a jerk on purpose, because he was mad that Mimii did not graft him, because the moment Ayo was applying the pressure, Moonveer was nowhere to be found but sulking and just complaining and having a nasty look on his face, when he could have utilized the opportunity to let Mimii know whether or not he was interested. He could have utilized the opportunity to continue to talk to Mimii and get to know her, since you were in a couple with her and you chose not to. So whose fault is that? And now all of a sudden today they turn on your microphone and you have a personality? No. You've been MIA. You have been team furniture this whole time. Like, get it together, right? So nonetheless, we'll see what happens in tomorrow's episode, or I guess technically later to get day if you're in the UK. In the aftermath of this challenge, if Mimii is going to open her eyes and realize that Ayo is playing games. Here's the thing. If Ayo's really into you, he needs to show it. You should not be the one chasing him all around the villa to get your attention. Which brings me back to Black Twitter, you guys. You guys always come for the black women in these situations, and you never come for the men who are blatantly disrespecting these black women, who are blatantly playing games with these black women. They know they need them for safety, and they lose their mind when their quote-unquote type comes into the villa, except for their type is 9 times out of 10 never really into them, but is into them enough to stay in the villa for safety. And they don't get a clue until the 11th hour, you guys. And then they go back to the person who has been begging for their attention all along, and it's just cringeworthy, right? Ayo is reminding me of the American version of Kenan, right? Where he knew basically that Kay was always going to be there no matter what, and he was going to continue to flirt with every new bombshell and get to know everyone else, and even do some handsy stuff with another girl during Casa Amor, and still ends up with Kay at the end of it, right? But nonetheless, that's what Ayo's giving. That he is going to continue to play in Mimi's face anytime there is a new bombshell that's there. And it is going to be humiliate Mimi until she's either dumped from the villa or until Ayo is serious about her later on in the show and then decides to, you know, quote unquote, be exclusive with her. But I think we are in for a long road where it is going to be a lot of games and a lot of playing against Mimi, unfortunately, you guys. So nonetheless, there is that. That is all that I have for this latest episode. We will see how this unfolds, what this unfolds. I mean, really, you know, like I said, I just didn't like the girls instigating drama. I just thought that that was unnecessary. They're up here telling Uma that Mimi didn't like, you know, her and Ayo holding hands. Like, Mimi could have told her that herself if she really felt a certain type of way. These other girls don't need to do it behind her back. Like, it's just weird behavior that is taking place. It's like these girls are bored. And the one thing I will say Uma's done well compared to Mimi is that she has really immersed herself well in the villa. She is really focused in on building friendships, which I feel is important for these dumpings. So in the event she happens to be in the bottom for some reason, there's a high chance she will be safe because she has really integrated herself into the group of women. She needs to do the same with the guys. She still needs to talk to Joey and others, and nonetheless, really secure just in case it's the guys that have to pick who to save of the girls. But she has really, that's like the fastest that I've seen in a long time, a bombshell really just quickly integrate in the villa like that. Because usually people don't want to talk to the bombshell. Usually people, you know, are in their feelings because they're worried about their man being chose by the bombshell. But this is the opposite energy, right? And so we'll continue to monitor this. I know people want it to be that Uma hates Mimi so bad, but I just don't see it. Why can't we like both black women? This is why we don't get straight out of Compton Island, because you guys do not know how to behave. And this never happens in the U.S. where we have multiple black islanders in the villa at the same time, and there isn't all of this hatred and negativity. Yeah, people will be team so-and-so and team so-and-so if there's a love triangle, but in the event of the maliciousness and negativity that it escalates to on this show is completely and utterly unacceptable, you guys. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.